Okay, we are now recording, people.
Hello.
So welcome everyone to our first BizzTalk. How are you today?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm fine.
Okay, so hi Jorge. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. My name is Jorge Galvão. I'm a guy. Just a guy. Okay. And I'm here to develop my conversation skills. The, this because at this moment I'm not well prepared to the business conversations with my colleagues. Okay.
Okay, very well. And hello, Marisa.
Hello.
So can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Marisa, as you call me, and I'm here to improve my English because when I have to talk with anybody, I block it. So when I travel, I can speak, but with other people, if I know the people are Portuguese, I block it.
Okay. All right, very well. So you are in the right place. Hi,
Yes.
Katrina.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hello, I'm Caterina, and I'm here to learn how to speak and communicate correctly with everybody.
Oh, okay, very well. Nicely done. Well, so today we have a few themes that you gave us through your registration in our platform. So we'll start with the first one suggested by Jorge, which is actually the story of the Easter Bunny. So Jorge, do you care to present your theme and start your comment on it? Would you like some tips, Jorge?
Of course, Daniela.
Okay, so I'll start off with the first story I heard about how the Easter bunny, how do we have an Easter bunny for Easter? Okay, so why is there a bunny that lays eggs at Easter time? Okay, so it first started with the Greek mythology with a goddess named Aoster, so that was her
Okay.
name, and she once came across a frozen bird. Although it was springtime, the bird was frozen. His wings were frozen, and he couldn't fly, and he couldn't react to the surroundings. So this goddess said that she would give him another kind of covering so he would feel warm and could communicate and go around his surroundings doing his things. So what happened was she turned them into a bunny because bunnies are fluffier and their skin is warmer. So she turned them, magically of course, she turned them into a bunny. Yet that bunny laid eggs as a bird. Anyway, that's why we have an Easter bunny that lays eggs. Okay? In order for him, that bunny, to say that he was grateful for what she did, he started to decorate his own eggs, okay, and offer the eggs to the goddess as a gift. So that's why we have decorated Easter eggs. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the first and the oldest story I've heard about the apparition of the Easter Bunny. Although a much modern kind of theory came across with a well-known writer from England, Beatrix Potter. Does anyone know Beatrix Potter?
No, I
No.
only
No.
I only know Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, no. A different kind of Potter.
Okay.
So Beatrix Potter was an 18th century writer, but her characters were only bunnies. She only wrote stories for children. Well, at the time she didn't know they were going to be for children, but she only wrote stories for children which every character had a job, a family, friends, everyday life, but they were all bunnies. Okay, so some people say that that tradition of the Easter bunny, and especially being a white Easter bunny, comes from Beatrix Potter at the time that she launched her first short stories about bunnies. So doesn't nobody really knows how it started. So what do you think, George? What is your opinion on that?
For my perspective, Easter is a traditional season on my village. Okay, that is just a funny story about this story. Okay, because this is known as a religion traditional season, not as a funny like Christmas season. Okay, this is a season that we live every year with some traditions, um, with all the family visiting each other, and just on that, all of these funny stories is known as funny. Only that. Okay.
Exactly. All right. And you, Marisa, what do you think about these stories and related to Easter?
I didn't know these stories, but I think that the person who creates these stories, it's only with the goal for fun the kids. I don't know.
Okay, to amuse the kids.
Amuse?
Commercial
Amuse the kids.
purposes, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Could be for commercial purposes, of course, especially if she's a writer. Katerina, what do you think?
I didn't know the two stories, but I think that this is a product of a lot of imagination along the years. I think that, and this specific time, Easter, it's resurrection of Christ. Okay, and this has a a symbolism very, maybe for some people, a very not dark, but it's too heavy. Okay, and I think some people create these stories to tell to the kids because they are lighter, they are beautiful, they are fantastic, and I think that this is important also. Imagination is everything.
Okay, very well. Do you have any funny stories of your own or any funny traditions of your own that happen in your family around Easter time?
No, I only like to catch crickets when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. It's a good time. Easter is a good time to
Yes,
go
I
catch
know.
crickets. All right. And you, George, do you have any funny stories or traditions in your hometown?
No, just the kids exploring the own traditions about these old uh, and ancient and traditions that we have on our village. So just we being kids and just that it's the
Okay.
funny things about the
Funny.
traditions.
And you, Marisa?
No, the Easter season is only a good reason for it,
Okay, all right. Well,
like Christmas.
I'll tell you that the English-speaking countries like America, Australia, England, New Zealand, they have another tradition for kids, of course. And as you were saying, it's a lot of imagination and a family bringing the amusement into this heavy season, like Katerina was telling us about. So they came up with another tradition, which is the Easter egg hunt. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever had an Easter egg hunt?
No.
No.
No, oh, but that would
But
be
next
fun.
year, it's an idea. The four of us.
Yeah, exactly. This talk can organize an
I'm
Easter
just seeing. I just saw these on some kids around me. Some friends on these families organize these egg hunts.
Yeah.
I'm I don't not I'm every night I not participate never on these egg hunts. Okay. Um, but I saw these on these new families in Portugal because we are importing this tradition from
Yeah.
America or any other countries, and we saw that other like other traditions,
Yeah.
okay,
Like Halloween.
like
We
Halloween.
import it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good.
Maybe next year without COVID we can organize it.
Yeah. Without
Yes.
masks.
It's for
Without
sure.
masks.
I have
Only,
that written down.
how do you say ears? Only with ears, everyone.
Bunny ears,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. We all get bunny ears and we all go hunt for eggs. All right?
All right.
I had a mental note, so we're going to do that next year for sure.
Here for the girls, nose for the guys.
No, you have to.
All right. So do you think we can stop this thing now?
Yes.
You want this conversation?
Okay. All right. So the next theme is, if I'm not mistaken, and for the next time, I promise I'll have it written down or printed out for me to see. But let me just go check. Right.
Confinement.
So lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So lockdown was brought up by Katerina, right? So Katerina, what did you have in mind for us to discuss about lockdown? What would you like to know or say about that theme?
Just in 15 minutes, okay?
I only need two. I only need two. The other are for discussion. Okay.
Okay.
Well, lockdown is a new way of life for us and for a lot of countries right now. And lockdowns or confinements are considered the most effective way of control or curb the COVID-19. Okay, and we cannot forget that we are living with this pandemic, with this disease, and we have to look with other eyes, and we have to be creative. And the imagination here is very important, the Easter imagination, because this is a very heavy reality, and for everyone, for kids, for adults, for older people, and because this is all over the world, in every countries, and we experience this and this new way of live. Okay, and confinement is great for curb the COVID-19, but he is very negative for our economy and very, very negative for those who are developing this. Developing their socialization, like kids or teenagers, okay, or for those who have how can I say this, mental disorders, because like anxiety, okay, because this isolation can aggravate or create another mental diseases and disorders. Okay, so I think we have to discuss this. We have to look at this with with all the angles, okay? The negative and the positive.
Okay. So Marisa, what do you think are the most negative and the most positive of all this lockdown?
So the most negative is the deaths of many people, of course, yes. And in my case, I have been in layoff for 3 months, and in the last year 2 months. So it's obviously,
Obviously, yes.
It was negative for me in terms of financial issues, of course, yes. But the most positive things is that it gave us time to do other things that usually we don't need time for them. So to read, to do something, to learn a new thing, to start a new business. So many things. But obviously, forget.
Of course, you can say of course.
The most positive things is that we have time for other things and to be with family. For me, it was to start a new thing in my area. So it was positive for me.
All right, very good. Thank you. And you, Jorge? Positive and negative of all this lockdown.
I'm very positive about this. About this lockdown, I'm very. I have mostly positive aspects about this. Okay, I'm a businessman, so I think for the businesses, this is a way to allow the businesses to create conditions to improve their businesses, to starting the marketing, the showing the different perspectives of their business to the people, to the population. Okay. Other way is to improve the processes. Most of the business should improve the processes to get the same income with this lockdown, because the physical presence of the physical clients are not the same. We have a lot of months confined, and with that the decrease on the incomes of this business are huge. So these guys have to improve, and this will reflect positively on the economy for the future on the best way. Okay. Of course, a lot of businesses that are not allowed to improve their processes with this. We are talking about nightclubs, bars, business that are requesting mainly the physical presence of the customers. This is not so positive, but for me, it's just like Marisa said. With this, I gain a lot of time to do stuff that I'm not allowed to do with normal time. Staying here at home, I can do my usual professional, and after that I can deal with other tasks, and I can improve a lot of things. The negative things mainly is related to health, just like Katarina said. Anxiety, sociability skills, we can improve these online. It's not the same thing. I'm a guy that needs the presence, that needs the beer with another person's, and that it's not possible to do it by Microsoft Teams or Zooms or other kind of tools that we are using now. Okay.
All right. So, do you think that it will be easy to go back to our old schedule and our old way of life now that we have gone over a year through lockdown? Of course, we were in and out of lockdown, but still, even when we were not on lockdown, those specific period of time, most of us were working from home. So we were home officed. Do you think that would be easy and you would easily go back to your old schedule and your old way of life?
No.
I don't know if that it was a reality on the future, okay? Because a lot of companies will start with different kind of labor schedules, okay? Allowing some workers to do part of this job at home, from home, okay? I know some offices are having some changes, improving these to get the office just for meetings, not for regular work.
Okay.
Some companies are implementing this, but
So
of course we are Portugal, so
you're
a
talking
lot of
more specific, like an entrepreneur kind of vision, right? But I was noticing that Katerina said no right away, right? So how do you see yourself if everything goes back to normal?
I'm thinking how we, human, are going to step by step going into the world, and we are afraid, okay, and we are going to be suspicious if someone tells us that COVID-19 it's not end, but they are talking about that in television, that we are going to gain the immunity against this disease, okay? But eventually, okay, if we go there, what is the next disease? What is the next? And this is a thing that is going to be here in everyone's mind. Even the most distracted, the people that are distracted is distracted. Is that
Yes.
okay? Even the most distracted, sometimes they will think, I'm afraid of this. I need a mask again. I think this is all of these little things are going to appear in everyone's minds.
Probably, yes, you're probably
fear.
right. It has changed businesses. It has changed the way entrepreneurs now see some kind of future for them. It has changed people. Okay.
I think the mainly change on humans generally should be on the children aged before 5 years old. I think because for them this is a new reality. I heard some kids asking about the masks for some people because they just know that reality. Just seeing people with masks, and they are strange for them to see people without masks.
Yeah.
And for them will be a significant change or significant uh, change is the best word to see if we can get the old reality without masks and free them and to the old normality, I think.
Okay. Well, let's hope the vaccine comes and at least slows down all of this anxiety and all of this anti-socializing
We hope
world that
so.
we are starting to live in. Well, mine is scheduled for Sunday, so I'll be vaccinated on Sunday, next Sunday. So
Next
then
Sunday?
I can be with all of you after that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're not going to have AstraZeneca anymore, all right?
Yeah.
So we have Pfizer for teachers. Maybe that's
Okay.
all right. Okay, and this theme is come to an end. So let's talk about our animal shelter, and our host for that theme is Marisa. So Marisa, please tell us about your idea.
My idea. I have been a volunteer in a dog shelter for 2 years, and uh, I was a kid. I love animals, dogs, kids. I don't know if you have any animals.
Me? Plenty. I have lots of animals.
Sorry, I understand.
I
I have a mosquito here.
I have many animals. I have 2 cats, 3 dogs, because my niece just left her dog at my care. So 2 cats, 3 dogs, and a hamster.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I
And you,
have two.
Katerina?
I have 2 cats.
I have three.
Chico, as you know.
I have 3 dogs and a mosquito right now. I'm trying not to kill the mosquito.
A lot of cows.
I'm
So
trying not to kill the mosquito, but
you are dogs or animal lovers.
yeah.
Yes.
I know the Chico, the cat George, and is my vizinho. How it's mean neighbor.
Neighbor, exactly.
So
It's the neighbor from everyone.
yes. So, but I'm about volunteer. It's a hard work, and it seems like we never see the light at the end of the tunnel because
It never is, right?
yes,
So work doesn't stop.
yes. At least in Portugal. In other countries is different. Like in Germany, there in there isn't dogs in the street.
There aren't.
There aren't dogs in the street. But it's a hard work. Every day there are many dogs that appears in the streets. So in my street, it's appear very frequently. So the work in the shelter is very hard, and we have no we have a few resources resources. So in terms of money, of course, because there are many dogs in a shelter. In terms of time, because we need many time to give them a life with quality, and in terms of people, because there are there aren't there are no many people to give their time to this cause. So
Which animal shelter do you volunteer for?
I volunteer in a feto that are in Taboeira, Naveiro,
Yes.
okay, and there are more than 40 dogs.
Okay. Maybe you can recruit some volunteers here among us.
I don't know if you you can give your time.
Okay, George, do you have any time to give to a volunteering?
Look at his face.
I have some time. I love animals, but I don't know if I have the profile to do this job on the shelters. Okay. Of course, this issue, this thing is mainly about responsibility of us as humanity. Okay,
So civil and
because
social responsibility.
yes, because mainly, just like said Marisa, here in Portugal, mainly we have a lot of animals at the street, remaining about the behavior on the holidays. Okay, because a lot of families, a lot of persons left the animals on the holiday seasons. Okay, because they they uh, they left the animals behind, uh, don't thinking about the responsibility they have about this. Okay, and I don't know if it will if this is uh, just because they need the company on the daily basis, and on the holidays uh, they forget about this. I don't know what is the issue. I don't understand the behavior about this, or the thinking about this behavior, or behind this behavior. But
Well,
for
Katerina,
me,
you. Oh, I'm sorry.
for me, it's not the profile for these shelters.
Well, Katerina,
Sorry, Marisa.
you have
No,
freedom, or maybe you know somebody who can help. That's also helpful.
but there are many ways to help this shelter, like
Yes.
to
You can donate, George. And
yes,
And
George,
I
George,
donate.
yes, I know,
Sometimes I
Yes.
donate,
because we
and
made a caravan and take lots of donations to Animais de Albergaria Velha. And you were there with me, with your
Oh,
bag.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking, George was talking about the behavior behind leaving our pets unattended during vacation. So, Katerina, what do you think drives people
I
to
don't know.
have this kind of behavior? Either they are bad human beings or they're just bad dog owners.
I don't know. I think they have problems, and I don't know how to. I don't understand this behavior because this is not my behavior and this is not my way of life. But I don't. Nobody's good and nobody's bad. I think all of we have a bad side and a good side. But some of us are working with the bad side every day, and I don't know. I don't know. This is too strange for me. How can I leave those eyes? Those. How can I leave my love? They are my
Yes.
love. They are the love of my life. They are my family. They are everything to me. When they when they have those those eyes looking at me, it's impossible. How can someone leave them at the side of a road? I cannot understand that. I think
Little anti-human. Yeah.
for me, if someone sees me doing a thing like that, I would in the next minute I have to go to the psychiatry because I'm not okay. And I think that some people have those kinds of problems. They are not good for themselves, so they are not good for a dog or for a cat. Okay.
Now let's talk about laws, for example. Is there, and this I don't know, that's why I am asking you, is there a law now that has been approved for fining people who do those kinds of things, who leave their animals behind? or mistreat their animals in some way?
There is.
There are applicable laws now.
Yes,
Yes,
there
but
are applicable
there are-
laws about the leaving the pets behind.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to identify these persons.
Because
If
the
you
pets don't speak.
if you find a cat on the street, if you find a dog at the street, you don't know who is the
Owner.
owner
The owner.
about or the owner.
Marisa was going to say something before.
But there is a law, but there aren't the how it's mean meios,
The means.
The
the means to put in practice the law.
Okay.
So even the animals have the sheep, and there are some problems of them, and there are how it's mean denúncia.
I don't know. I'll check. But somebody tells on them.
Yeah.
Yes, so somebody calls the
Report.
police or
It's
report
report.
the police. The police don't anything. They even call to these shelters to help. So there is a law, but there aren't the means.
Okay. Yes, because then if they have a chip, like you said, where the name of the owner is there, the address is there, the phone number is there, what can the police do to make the owners keep the dog again? They're just going to leave him someplace else if they don't want it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The shelters will be the destiny of these pets.
Yeah.
Yes, the government make the laws, but don't give to police or any other institutions to save these dogs. So the police calls to these shelters to resolve the issue.
Yeah. Because they don't have a place to
Yes.
put those animals. Yes, that's
It's
true.
difficult. It's difficult to control because as a normal situation like a couple of cats that you have at home, if you don't have these controlled, if you don't have this in mind, after some time you have a lot of cats. And about that, what should state, what can state do or can government do about this? It's difficult because
Yes.
a family that have two cats that after some time have a lot of cats, it's difficult to control.
Maybe government could have could help the institutions like where Marisa works or volunteers in this case. They could help them either with medication, sterilize the animals maybe, so they can give them up for adoption. So that could be useful.
But you need every time you need the responsibility from the families because you can't go over houses inside seeing if they have cats, if they have cats sterilized, if they have. It's difficult to control that.
That's true. But for example, in I remember in my parish, there were every animal and every pet should be registered at the local parish. Okay, and for that reason, every animal should have a registration, an ID, so it can be accountable. So the owner could be accountable if something happened. All my animals, for example, are registered. They have a chip on them. But then we come to the same conclusion, which is the owners are not accountable for their actions. So, yeah.
It's the same.
It's a turn. It's always
Starts and the ends with the same thing. It's owner's responsibility and.
Yeah. So we have to change our minds.
Sorry, Catarina.
No. Just this. We have to change our minds.
I think the sterilization, yes, of course, is the key for our country because, like I said, Germany, it's an example because there are no animals at the streets. These kind of countries adopt animals from other countries like Portugal. So it's my dream that Portugal can be like Germany.
All the animals. All right. So this was a very good conversation. I enjoyed talking about the themes that you proposed. And I will now give you a little bit of feedback on some of the mistakes that I realized you made during your conversation, okay?
Okay.
This
Thank
is
you.
where you have to make them, so you make them at the right place. And I just wrote down a few, which they are very recurrent in all of you and in general as well, okay? So at some
Okay.
point, one of you said she don't. So this is a misuse of the third person singular. It should be she doesn't, all right? So this is very, very often made. Difference between telling and saying, okay? So this is when you tell something, you tell it to a person, okay? But when you say something, you can just say it, not directly at anyone. So you say it out loud, you say it to a computer, you say it on the phone. But when you are speaking directly to a person, you tell that person, okay? That's the difference. Again, the misuse of the third person, so something like anyone have. In this case, anyone is also used as a he or a she, so it's anyone has. Then the use of the negative. Some of you say, for example, I'm not participate. We miss the auxiliary verb here, and we should say, I don't participate, okay? Again, this is just a specific, precious kind of thing. One of you said, every countries, okay? So in this case, countries is going to be used as singular because every is already plural. It's already meaning all of them, okay? So every country. And the word aggravate, I am not sure who said it, but aggravate is a false friend, okay? A false friend is it's a word that translating it looks like it's the same meaning as in Portuguese, but it's not aggravar. Aggravate is not aggravar. Aggravate is to get on somebody's nerves. Okay? If I say, you are aggravating me, means that you are annoying me. You are building me up, and I feel like, slapping your face. Okay? The actual word for the aggravate should be increase. Okay? So o agravar is to increase something, okay? Or build up. Another persons. Well, the word persons is not very much used because every time you want to use the plural, you should use the word people. Okay?
Yeah.
Persons is when you want to refer to different individuals one at a time. For example, if you say, there were great inventions invented by great persons. Why? Because each individual came up or invented something different. Okay? But in this case, when you want to speak to, just one person, two person, three persons, so in this case, you don't say persons, you say people. Okay? That's the plural. And the last one, names that are personal. For example, Chico, which is the name of Jorge's
My cat?
Yes, you should never wear an article. We never say the Chico. So we just say Chico, okay? And we never say the Marisa or the Catarina. There is no
Okay.
article when we talk about somebody's name. Okay, so when it's a personal name, noun. Okay.
Okay.
I hope it was helpful, and I liked very much having you.